Good morning and evening and afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I am Nikki, and with me is I have lovely Nick Muley from Chicago, and at the bottom we have lovely, and we also have lovely Robert, and he is from Northern Queensland. So welcome. Tonight's show we are just going to talk about anything. So if you have any questions you want to ask us, please don't hesitate to ask. Nick, take it away.
Well, for starters, also to add to it, we might also have possibly one or two other people joining us too as part of the conversation. Obviously, I already sent the invite to one of them, and the door is open for him whenever he's able to come on. Obviously, it happens to be no other than Pickle Tom, so I'm sure he'll probably be joking with us. He'll probably come on and joke around with us for a bit. So like you said, we'll definitely see how things go for tonight in this case. So you know, first off, I just got to say, it's good that we got both of you guys back today in this case for your show. So it's good to be doing a Paranormal PWA Chat.
Yeah, it's good to be back. This is our fifth show. Yay!
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And it's crazy to think too. I mean, the fact and I know we were talking about this on Supernatural Talk, but the fact that we're also just about to enter July too. You guys realize in just a few months, because understandably, right after 4th of July in our case, it's like Halloween season to us very quickly because they start getting the decorations out.
Mm-hmm.
The craziest thing, I think, more than anything else, is it's not even just about the upcoming Halloween season. That once we enter October, this will be our 4-year anniversary. I think so, our 4-year anniversary of the Things Network. So it's just crazy to think that we're just a few months away from another anniversary in that case, just to show how fast how far we've grown with these different shows. And shows like this is obviously, is what's continuing to make this network still operational.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can't believe it's been 5 years now, yeah?
We started back in 2021, late October of 21. So it's been almost 4 years now.
Time flies.
It really does. It really does. Oh, and speaking of loyal viewers, there's Braxton. Speaking of which,
Hey, Braxton.
What I also love about the show too, and Nikki, obviously, this because we saw this last time when we did an episode of your show a few weeks ago. That I always do like it when we get new viewers. I mean, yeah, we see it a lot with a lot of the shows here, but we had a first time ever French viewer watching, which is just fantastic. Yes, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yep. Happy birthday to Jeremy once again. Hope you had a fantastic day. So,
by now he should be asleep from the pills he had or whatever it was he took.
Yeah, he's probably already asleep, but it's never too late to wish somebody a happy birthday.
Mm-hmm. Hey.
Yeah, Brockton, it's just going to be a simple chat tonight, so we don't really have a particular topic we'll be talking about.
Nothing planned.
Yeah.
We're just winging it. Life, what? Life, oh my God, life.
Well, I'm going to say one thing. I mean, this is honestly one of the few things I really have in mind of talking about, because I know it's been quite a long time since I've spoken about anything like this, but I do finally have some upcoming investigations that are going to be coming up in the later part of the year, so I'm officially getting back into the field. Actually, one of them is with Jeremy, in fact. About a month ago, on July 26th, we're going to be going back to the Old Lake County Jail in Crown Point, Indiana, which thankfully that's only an hour and a half from where I live. And that will also be the first time I'll be meeting Jeremy in person for quite a long time. So got that coming up, and there's also 3 or 4 other investigations I was just recently invited to. So depending on how things go for the investigations, of course, we're going to shoot some video. And I mean, I'm sure not only this show, but also with some of the others. If I do have anything interesting, I'll definitely present it to you guys, with whatever.
That sounds good. That's not good. Yeah.
Nikki, I was going to ask you in this case, have you done? I know you've been doing some investigations. Any recent stuff in the last couple weeks?
So we did a theatre, which was really cool. First time we did a theatre, that was pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Just whoa,
Nope.
Say again,
that
Cameron.
was not paranormal. That was me. Just putting that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe that was a sign, as I was saying. So we did a theatre.
Yep.
I don't think they liked my singing much.
Mm.
Hi, Joe. If you want to join us,
Hey,
you're more than
Joe.
welcome to.
Yeah,
How you
Joe.
doing?
We're just having a simple conversation tonight. If you want to join us, you're more than. I could send you a link, and you're more than welcome to join.
And same with you, Braxton. If you want to join, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, Braxton. We've been really thinking about this, but because of your loyal viewership to a lot of our shows, we've actually been thinking about maybe having you on one of our shows as a guest if you'd be interested.
So yeah, Nick will send you the link.
Yeah.
Did that one. That was pretty intense. We did an old house that was quite nuts. But we love that place. It's called Woodlow's Homestead, and yeah, a lot of history with that one. It was built in 1800s, so a lot of stuff with that. We've got Perth Bell Tower. We did for my birthday. I got to ring the bells. Um, don't think I'll get a job with that one.
Mm.
Yeah, yep. If you've ever done bell ringing, it's pretty hard work. I decided to do one of the heaviest bells, which was 50 kilos.
Oh, geez. Wow.
And on the video, all you see, everybody's ringing, and all you see is me just go up, down. The lady's like, please don't drop. I'm like, I'm fine. But yeah, nah, that was pretty intense. And we were the
Well,
one.
just as well you weren't doing the stage play of Wicked, otherwise you could have gone straight up and kept going up. Defying gravity. No
No,
topic.
just a simple chat. Just a simple chat. We could talk about whatever, paranormal or anything else you have in mind.
Yeah.
So I'm actually about to send the link to you in case you wanna join us.
Nick, I might actually send you the video so people kind of get the vibe of what happened.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, if you want to send it to me, go right ahead.
Oh, it was fun, but yeah, very and
No, Braxton.
of course
What
you
we
can.
mean by that is like he thought it was not allowed.
No, of
Not a,
course.
no, that in that case is mainly just for Fear fans. That's not really a show that like we actually have like very many guests on. That's mainly just specifically for the show hosts. But in the
This
case with
one.
other shows, we often do have other people on as guests. So you're more than welcome to be a guest on the show.
Yeah, you can come join. Nick will send you a link. You're more than welcome to. That's what Paranormal Perth is about. We invite everybody, so don't discriminate. We just like to talk about the paranormal and come together and go out and investigate. So that's what we're all about. Um, Joe
And
would
Small
like
Town
for you to
Paranormal will
Yeah,
show you.
Joe, I just sent it to you.
um,
Seeing how she's going to go on about the Paranormal Perth, I'm going to go on mine with Small Town Paranormal.
Exactly.
awesome.
Yeah,
Because
let's see.
Queensland and West Australia. One here, one there. And we're
Good
still
Queensland. Woo!
yeah, we're still up and around the 22-degree mark. What's your temperature down there? Still down in 6?
We're cold. We're
And
cold.
cold.
Oh, here is Joe. Hey, Joe, how you doing?
No hat.
No, I just woke up from a nap.
Okay, all right. You
Doing
been
all
Hi,
right,
okay?
Joe.
Joe, otherwise?
So trying to, it's been
Wake
so
up.
hot. It's been
Mhm.
so hot here lately that the roads have actually buckled.
Ouch.
Wow.
I saw that. I saw that with the car going out on the road and then going.
Oh, I'm sure.
Woo, up in the air. Yeah.
Ouch! 106. Bloody
There's
hell!
actually one on my way to work in
Oh.
Johnson Craig.
Oh, really? There was?
Well, they fixed it already, but yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been seeing other chats where they're saying that they can boil an egg or do an egg on a pavement and have it cooked within about 3 minutes.
I've seen people because of the heat, they put a pan of cookies in
Yeah,
the back
in the
windshield
car
of their car. Yeah.
and they'll cook. Yeah.
Oh, they'll be ready in about 10 minutes.
Oh wow! Check this out. I just saw what you're
Yeah,
talking about, Nikki.
it was fun.
Okay, just sent the link to Braxton, so he's all set.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing, Joe. For the first time ever, that guy Braxton, who's been watching like Fear fans on a lot of our shows,
Yeah.
we're finally going to be meeting him face to face for the first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's
so we
cool.
got to finally meet him.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah. That guy Braxton, the one that we only see on chat and never have seen in live. So yeah, get your butt on here, Braxton.
I mean, considering that, when we have a lot of loyal followers and viewers watching, we should give them the opportunity
Yeah,
of
we
coming
should.
on as guests, because that's how I started too. Like when we used
Yeah.
to be on the old network that we're not a part of anymore, I was a big fan and supporter of it, and eventually I've always learned that the more support and time you give for these shows, the more chances you could eventually become a guest, and if you do
Yep.
really well, that could eventually get you to
Become a
eventually
host.
become part of the network itself,
Mhm.
and that's what it happened to me. So you
Yeah.
never know.
Me too. Because that's what happened
Same.
with me and Nick. I met Nick, and then Nick would
Yeah,
talk things out.
I forgot how I became part of the network. It's been so long.
Yeah.
No, that was all because, originally the way that started though was when I was doing the Insane Asylum show on Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to get Jeremy as a guest,
Right.
and then it was all scheduled and stuff. We got it all scheduled, and then all of a sudden Jeremy gets back to me. Oh, I'm sorry, I
Hey,
got
Rick.
into this really bad accident, and I'm gonna have to go through reconstructive surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So we put it off for quite a while. And in the meantime, Jeremy and I kept talking, and then next thing you know, I'm part of Things Network.
And we've been proud of having, just like with this show, we're proud of having you on ever since.
Well, next week, what is today's date? I'm
The
kind of
26th.
The 26 because it's 66 Dish Day.
next week I'm gonna
Yeah.
renew the Emux thing.
Oh, really? Okay.
So the deck will be back next week. The week after that, I'll bring back the Insane Asylum because I'll find a guest. And
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned on Tom's show a few days ago that you were bringing back the deck.
yeah, I just needed a little break after what happened. Let's just say that, the guy
Yeah.
pissed me off to the point where I had to take him off everything. If you look at the website, it's been redone a little bit. I've taken him out of basically everything.
Everything. Mm-hmm.
Well, when a guy has you're supposed to be doing this together as a partnership.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And he's nowhere to be seen ever. Yeah.
Well, they should have some input.
Bye, Felicia. Mm-hmm.
They should okay, yeah, that's a good idea, or no, that's not that kind of thing. But no
Nothing.
input, and I do all the
Yeah.
work, and it's like, fuck it. I got sick and tired of calling him, getting my head bit off every time I asked a question like, "Are you going to show up? Are you going to show up to this Paracon event?" Oh, and he thinks Paracons and all that stuff are stupid.
Yeah,
and useless to go to. And it's like, how many connections and people I have made just by going
Exactly.
to the Paracons.
Exactly. Yeah.
I have a
If you
question.
don't go out, you can't meet people and can't spread your word of who you are, where you are, what you do.
Right.
Yeah.
And I go to these
Sorry,
Paracons.
Nikki.
Well, it was not even a Paracon. It was just paranormal meetup.
Yeah.
And
Hi.
Hi.
either.
I go there. What was it? It was at some Irish bar in Chicago.
Yeah, the
Irish pub.
Irish pub. That's what it was. I was trying to remember the
Irish
name of
pub.
it.
On Archer Avenue.
Yep.
Anyway, I go and I meet this Jeff and Lorelei and all of this, and it's like I got two new friends, and now I've got couple of guests that I can get 3 shows out of
Mm-hmm.
after sitting there and talking to them. That would have never happened. I would have never figured that out if I didn't go to these things and actually meet the people.
I have a question.
Mhm.
What's the difference between a Paracon and having a table and selling your wares than going to like a festival and having a booth and selling your wares? What's the difference?
Way I see it, and this is actually, you guys brought up a really good point. And again, Nikki and Robert, I know you guys don't have them there as much
Yeah,
as
we don't.
as we do over here, but I can certainly explain from experience in this case is that when you go to these Paracons for starters, there's just something so different compared to many other type of conventions that like Comic Con or something like that. Because when you're going to other type of conventions, yeah, you could get a booth table or stuff, but it's not a very social event. Yeah, you might still have people come up and talk to you for a little bit, but then that's usually it. You just try to make the most out of it. But with our Paracons, though, on the other hand, with everybody that's got the same interest, you connect with them, you talk with them, you bond with them, and they eventually, it becomes more than just a Paracon, a convention. That it eventually becomes a family
Like a
reunion,
family.
knowing that
I was just going to say that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a family reunion,
Mm.
and knowing that whether it's in our home state or in another state, good likely chance we're going to see them again in the very near future, and that doesn't matter if we have a vendor table or not.
No.
You're going to see it, and
Yeah.
but even if you go to another Paracon that nobody that you met previously is there, then once again you still meet new faces, and then you're expanding and making it even larger than it was previously. So it gives you a chance to really, those Paracons really know how to, give quite a social experience to a lot of us who have the same interests.
Well, yeah, and like that one in Chicago that I went to that Jack does it all by himself.
Mhm.
That was the 3rd year I was at that one. And I sat outside most of the time at a table with quite a few people, and we were just chatting away as time slipped by. I was
Yeah.
there from beginning to end, and I didn't even realize it. Last couple of times I left after, 3 or 4 hours. This time I was there for the whole thing, and I didn't have a table. I was just sitting there. I mean, there was a big group of people outside, and we were just sitting there chatting about anything and everything,
Yep.
Yeah.
and at the same time, my truck's sitting there on display.
Mm-hmm.
You
So
know,
it was a lot more fun.
it was, it really was, and
And the
obviously,
best thing about that is when you do get to meet them, and some of them do pass away, unfortunately, you can then go about hunting them next time go to the
yeah.
convention.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that too, because out of all the Paracons that I've been going to, yes, you're absolutely right. Sadly, some of the past cons that I've gone to, some of the investigators that I actually met at these events have since
passed on.
passed away,
Mm.
have passed on.
Mm.
But
Yep.
I always kind of, get kind of a feeling that they're still
They're
attending
still there.
more
Yeah.
together. And that's what almost like kind of makes it even more realistic. It kind of stays true to the title of a true Paracon, because now you have the spirits of those investigators attending the event also.
And they should know by then to talk into the red light.
Exactly. That's why whenever I say, for example, like when you guys know this all too well, when a paranormal investigator passes away, that's why I always end it the same exact way. I say, now you can find all the answers we've been looking for.
Yep. And stay away from Huff.
Yeah. Oh God, no, that guy's bad news. And it's no wonder why no one has ever invited him to any of those paracons
I
because
know.
obviously
Yeah.
he's a complete fraud. And if you're
Charlatan.
doing things like that, then obviously you're doing it then for all the wrong reasons.
Exactly. Mm. He doesn't even give the respect of giving them a week.
He
Like,
doesn't. He
oh, they're
doesn't.
dead.
And it
They're on the
really,
radio.
normally I'm not somebody that calls people off, online, but because of what this guy was doing, because again, you guys know how personal it is to me when it comes to the paranormal field.
Yep.
Just show I just see it as an insult and a disgrace to our community, and
And a money-making racket.
yeah, like I said, I'm not someone that usually calls someone off, but it's like, I can't let this guy do this kind of stuff and get away with it and have people believe that he actually is this stuff. I mean, he's a fraud. He's a real fraud, that guy Huff.
Uh-huh.
It's this guy named we don't know his actual name. It's this wait,
Steve
hang on.
Huff?
Before
we got a guest. He's coming.
Critical Tom!
He's coming.
Oh my God.
What's up?
No hat this time, I just realized, Tom.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
There.
You had to say something.
Sorry.
You came prepared.
Yeah.
Pickle Tom.
What's up, Joe?
How's it going?
It's going.
He comes prepared.
I hope, yeah. If you're gonna come, you might as well come prepared. I was just telling these guys earlier. I had a little attack from a wasp, and now my whole wrist, or like from here to here, is all swollen and shit. It's fun.
You allergic or just?
I was when I was a kid, but I've been stung a couple times as an adult. I didn't have a reaction to it like this, but
Oh, wow.
I took some Benadryl, and a couple beers, and I'm good.
I know you said this earlier, Tom. You said it's not painful right now, as like it's just swollen up. Okay.
Yeah, it's just swollen. I could feel a little bit of the tension from the swelling. It's a little itchy now and again, but other than that, I mean, when it first came on, it hurt. It felt like a hot poker going, and it was just a baby wasp, but it felt like a hot poker going in there. And then later on in the night, it turned into like a bruise feeling, but now there's no pain. It's just swollen.
That leads to the question. I should have asked this on the other show, but Nikki and Robert, I know, of course, I don't even have to remind you guys. I mean, I know that they always say, like, when it comes to certain animals and insects out there, that they're so much bigger in Australia. Is it like that too with is it like that with the wasps or hornets you guys have over there too, or are they just like small in stature?
Robert, you want to answer it?
Yeah.
Well, the size of some of the wasps that we get over here, let me see. The bigger ones can get to about the size of an asthma spray. Like
oh my God, that's huge.
The size, yeah.
Well, of course, that would be huge to you. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah, it would be for us. Yeah.
Yeah, not for me. That's mediocre for me. That's a little less than half mast. I'm just saying.
STT.
Yeah.
Standard Tom.
I've never really been stung by a bee, except for when I was a kid.
Yeah, I stepped on a lot of bees. So.
I was like, on a swing set when I was young, and how you're always, back in the 70s and 80s, you're all barefoot and stuff and on your shorts and whatever. And I jumped off and I landed right on a bumblebee, and that mother stung me right in the bottom of my foot.
And then he died.
And I'm going to tell you, I've been stung other times by bees, but nothing hurt like that.
Well, this
Well,
one was by
especially when
far.
you're
And
The
then,
bottom of my foot.
Well, and especially when you're stepping and you're putting, obviously putting pressure on your feet, it's going to make it more
Oh, yeah.
painful. Like
I mean,
stinging
that's-
out the arm.
the majority of the stings that I've got in my life were when I was a kid, and they were regular bees because my grandfather had a beehive up on top of his house and a pool right next to it. And you're not going to wear shoes when you're going into the pool,
No.
and those little white flowers, they like them, and you're not looking, and
Boom.
you step on them.
Just
I got
real
told-
quick, what Braxton said.
Yeah.
I
Tom,
got
I said
told-
this.
That the best thing for that, when it happens, is I had to soak my feet in mud
Yeah. I mean,
because it draws
meat
out the
tenderizer in water, like you make a paste out of the meat tenderizer in the water, it's actually pretty good.
Valve.
That's what
Mhm.
It draws it right out.
Well, it's the same thing
Yeah.
mud does. You just needed a garden hose back then. You could make it instantly.
Yeah, that's right.
I like making it with garden hoses,
Go shock mode.
especially if it's instant. I mean, it's just over and you can go to bed.
Hey, man, I mean, what's wrong with that?
I mean, what are you going to do?
I don't know if you all watched any of the Kevin Smith movies,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah.
like Clerks and
Yeah.
James
Yeah, I've
Silent
seen
Bob
Clerks.
and all of that.
Yeah.
I found Clerks 3.
Yeah.
Oh, Clerks
Oh,
3,
yeah.
yeah.
I didn't know they made one.
Yeah, they did. It was like a few years ago.
Yeah,
Mhm.
in the
Like
last
4
10 years.
4 years, I'd say.
Yeah, 5 years at least, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And the thing is, those guys look pretty old, but I
I'm
got
not even supposed to be here today.
tonight. Yeah.
I know.
But Kevin Smith, considering his battle with cancer, didn't look
Yep.
bad in that movie.
Mhm.
I
No.
saw pictures of him before that when he was
mean-
shortly after he was diagnosed.
Yeah, he was
And
really
he
thin. At one
looked pretty
point.
sickly.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was.
It's like droopy, thin.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks really emaciated.
Yeah.
That's
Cancer puts
that's
your body
Nick's toilet
out.
paper word of the day. Initiate, whatever. He just said.
Emaciated.
Yeah, that like he's got that word of the day toilet paper, and that was today.
He's got it stuck in his bee.
Yep. Bees!
Oh, bees, wasps.
You guys remember, like I said, I don't know if I showed this. Yeah, this was given to me
Yeah.
by Kate. This was when I was
Oh,
still
it's Minecraft.
She gave that to me as a
Yeah.
gift.
Yes. And I made him that when he got that one. That was like when we were playing our old world, and I made him like the creative world, and I made him like a bee in the creative world, which we haven't played in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
That pickle world with the garden and everything in there.
Yeah,
And,
and the Chick-fil-A and the
Not going in this
Yeah.
direction. Not to mention also the dildo, Joe.
Dildo Joe is there.
Yeah, I burned the whole damn thing down, as you said.
Yeah, he did.
couldn't have it last for more than 3 seconds.
Well, I thought I was helping by setting fire
No,
to your all wood
I
structure.
just brought in this big bucket of lava and whoops.
And I did, and it went completely out of control. That's why I was like, "Hurry up, Tom! There's a fire!"
Mhm.
Oh, that was funny. That was a good time.
Robert, did you see my final rendition?
Nikki's gone.
Good, Nikki.
I didn't have that fully, Tom.
Yeah, all right. Like I finished it, but I didn't like how it worked. It worked, but I didn't
Yeah.
like how it worked. So
Yeah,
I've
I've taken
downloaded
that.
the world, and
Yeah.
and I'm changing it. I knocked it all down. I'm making it
Okay.
newer.
All right.
It looked really, really good. What do you think? Of?
Oh, God.
We live in man.
All right, Nikki.
Yeah, I'm good.
She's got the
And
My head
giggles.
just went to a very bad place.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to our world.
Welcome to this is Tom's world.
Well, hey, it's a good place to be, I think.
Yeah, it is.
It's a good place to be. I think I like it a lot. I think
You gotta
really,
be
really good.
right.
I like it. It's it's got a wall around it. It's
You got trees.
I mean,
I really like this guy Tom. I'm gonna have to meet him someday. He's gonna have to come to the White House. We're gonna love it. It's gonna be a good time.
I mean, hey,
The
what?
trees block the wind. The
You
wind
gotta try.
blows the day off.
That's right. Come on.
I'm lost.
Yeah, when it comes, when it comes Tom, it changes everything.
That's right. Come on. You got to change. You got to keep up with it. Come on. I mean, if you can't keep up with it, what are we gonna do? You know what? You're a little rough on him, Rick. I mean, I'm just saying. You know what? You got to be rough on people sometimes. I mean, that's how they learn. Well, I mean, nobody did that to me. Yeah, my case in point. You know.
I miss Tom.
So, I also wanted to go. I did want to go back quickly to what you were saying, Joe, about like when it comes to like these paracons and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's events like that. That's what I think really brings, I think, a lot of us together. You know, when we all have a good time. You know, with especially and when you go to these
you
events,
can't help but have a good time when you all come together. I mean, when the timing is right, you know.
Nick's gone.
God damn it, Tom.
Come together.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was the first thing that came to mind, but then the perverted end came out.
well, when it comes to when it's you, of course that's gonna happen.
My humor is like a coin toss, you know. It's very random. Like I'll have multiple options of what to say at any given point. Toss the coin, boom, whatever happens, there it is.
Not to mention the damn beer and alcohol you got with you.
I don't drink beer. I don't like
That's water.
On top of the Benadryl.
You know,
so I'm gonna sleep good tonight, man.
And then after going to that Paracon 3 years in a row, I am more confident now this year than I was, say, last year, that I will have Chad Lewis as a guest on my show.
Oh, that's great. That's great to hear.
I mean, unfortunately, what myself and Dale Kazmarek was working on didn't kind of pan out the way we were hoping, because we were going to try to do an actual Brave Road investigation with his friend again was coming over from England for like a week or 2 weeks. And we were going to set up the Brave Road thing, and Chad Lewis was going to come along, but I'll be damned if I'm going to pay, a couple $100 to go sit on this land and look for the beast.
Yeah. Well, that makes two of us, because if you were there when he said it, Dale had also extended the invitation to me.
Right. But because, and it's like, the guy got so popular, or maybe I think it was more that some other paranormal person got on his nerves so much that he's like, I gotta charge for this because you're taking up all my time, all it, And now he got money hungry.
And not only that, it's because of the last time when we didn't show up.
Oh, well, that wasn't my fault.
No, it was mine. I'm sorry.
No.
Oh, that was a big mess, because this is a place that if you're going to investigate it and go there,
That's my husband.
Oh, that's your husband. Okay.
Sorry.
Oh.
You need to set aside a good portion of your day, and you need to be there when you say you're going to be there.
Yeah.
And Dale set it up to where we had like 2 or 3 things to do before that, And by the time we got there, because somebody was like 2 or 3 hours late, and they decided to
Was it
wait
Nick?
for him. No,
Oh wow.
It was people that
Poor
wanted to think
Nick.
they were going.
Ah,
it was the people at the Valley of the Kings took like 2 or 3 hours before they showed up and threw off the schedule.
Yeah.
Wow.
And by the time we got there, and to call Dale, the guy for Bray Road, he's like, it's a little late now, don't you think? Blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
He got pissed.
He got kind of pissed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like after last time, but I don't think it was so much me as it was that woman that sat there. And, yeah, you
Not
know,
enough thinks.
yeah. We don't mention her name.
She who is not.
I've only met the one person in the paranormal field. Out of everybody I've met in the paranormal field, I've only met this one person that
Yeah.
I can't stand because she's in it
Mm-hmm.
for the money. That's it.
Yeah.
well, there's believe it or not, Joe, there is actually someone else at the event. I'm not going to say who it is, obviously. They weren't there this year, but you know, as a lot of you guys know, like I try to, carry on with that, the term, para unity, obviously. Unfortunately, oh, Tom just left. He must think he was starting. I think he said he was going to get off at some point. But
Mm-hmm.
Tom did say, Tom, you know, this is you guys know I try to carry on that term of para unity, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, though, as we all know, not everybody within the field is in agreement to it. Not to mention that they don't think that I'm using the term correctly, which in fact I actually am. They're using it in a more negative and different way. But like I said, I'm not going to say exactly which group it is, but it is a local group here in Chicago. And wait, I'm sorry guys,
You come,
before
Braxton.
I continue on, I would like all of you guys for the first time ever to finally meet Braxton from all the way from Louisiana. Braxton,
Hey, Braxton.
Hey, Braxton.
welcome.
We see you.
He's still recovering.
Can you hear us?
Oh wait, here we go. I was gonna say his mic was muted. Now it's on.
Okay, cool. How you doing, Braxton?
Oh
Still
wait, I think
nothing.
he's muted again. I think your mic's muted.
Yep, it's fine. Take your time back.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time.
Yeah. No rush.
The amount of times I've gone mute, I've dropped off, I've gone flying live,
Yeah.
fallen off the chair. You're cool.
Camera gone boom.
It's muted. It's muted again. Oh, there we go. There we go. Now we can hear you.
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you now, Braxton.
Chris, who's in the chat, I actually did send you. Oh wait, yeah, I still got to send that to him too.
Poor Chris.
Can you hear
Hang on,
us?
I'll send you an invite, Chris.
Can you hear us, Braxton? I think he might be having trouble. I mean, we could hear him. I'm not sure if he could hear us.
Yeah.
He said, where was it? You got to go back and scroll
He was
back.
having
Yeah,
trouble.
he
He
can make a
usually goes
comment,
on stream,
so that is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Emacs is a little different than StreamYard,
Yeah.
so it's going to take a bit to adjust.
Yeah.
Oh, what am I doing? I'm inviting Chris.
I actually just sent the link to him.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, he's getting 2 invites in.
Nick, did you want to show the video of me in the bell tower?
Not
What
yet.
we're waiting
I'm
for?
gonna when we have an opportunity, I was gonna show it. But I have received it.
Cool bananas. And hi, M Jag, for watching. That's my husband.
Okay. Yeah, let's we'll give him some time to adjust so that way.
Yeah.
Oh, and while we're waiting for that, look who's also here. What's up? What's up, Chris?
Hey,
Nothing.
Missy, hey, how you doing?
It's bad tonight. So
How you feeling? First of all,
much better than the other night.
good, good. I'm glad to hear.
New hairstyle, huh?
Yeah, I didn't care today. Today was an I don't give an F day. So
Yep. Yep.
Kind of like went and stuck his finger in a light socket and like, yep, that looks good.
it looked like what's his name? The guy
Punk
on
rocker.
back earlier.
Billy Idol.
Billy Idol. Chris, I was going to say, here's Braxton, but I think he's still adjusting and setting things up. So
Yeah.
we'll give him, no rush at all. We'll give him all the time that he needs.
There you go.
Yeah,
So,
you gotta love technology when it wants to work.
So I think I'm gonna give my truck a name.
oh,
Yeah.
really? Okay.
Well, we enjoy.
Let me name it.
Oh,
We got
Oh, she got it. Yes.
what was it? We were heading out to a graduation party a couple of weeks ago, and good friend of mine, basically he's like what would you call him, a cousin or whatever? Yeah, I
well,
know.
considering his wife is kind of like my sister because I've
All
known her
right,
since
so
I
he's
was
like-
a little kid.
So he's like a brother.
Oh.
All right.
He'd be like a brother.
He said I should name
Oh,
my
it's
truck
connection.
Demon Buster.
I like that.
Oh, yeah, I think. Okay, I think I know what's. Oh, you all right? Oh, speaker connected.
So I need to figure out. Well, one, we're gonna put the Demon Buster across the top of the windshield. All right, we're gonna put the name up there. But I'm thinking that I need to make like a public Facebook page or something and call it Demon Buster, and like so you can see the travels of where it's been. You know, because every time we go out on a road trip, we're gonna take pictures, and then we can post those just pictures
That
of
would
the
be
truck
awesome.
being in those locations.
That'd be great.
Because it's not always paranormal trips that we take. I mean, I was out in areas that we don't normally go out too often,
Right, right.
and some of the scenery and stuff is just cool as hell in Wisconsin this time of year.
Oh, I'm sure it is. It's
You
got to
know,
be really nice.
well,
Got to be better than Illinois weather.
I did.
Illinois.
No.
I had to, Nick. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But speaking of Illinois, uh, we we need to do it. I mean, we know where it is and how to get there now, but we're traveling between Wisconsin and there. What was it, last year we saw that? The pyramid.
Yep, last year. When we were on our way
the
down
conference.
to the Paracon last year.
The conference last year. We saw this pyramid. We stopped. We took pictures. This time we're going to stop, take pictures with the truck there and stuff.
Oh, that should be fun. Oh, yeah, I think his connection's been going out.
But
Yeah.
I've never seen. I mean, it's big. It's a huge place. It's big, like an Egyptian pyramid, and it's gold, and it stands out. You can see it miles away on the interstate, and it's like the thing is cool as hell. So we're gonna travel there, take the picture with the truck after we put the name on it, and I'm gonna actually do up this Demon Buster profile picture page or whatever on Facebook. So it'll be kind of cool when I get it done.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sounds a bit like the pyramids up in Gordon Vale in far north Queensland. It's an actual mountain, though, and it does look like a pyramid, but it's all green with all the trees and moss and everything, because it heats rain up there.
What was this place?
Gordon Vale.
The
Pyramids?
Golden Pyramid.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
the
what
old
was it?
person.
It
Oh,
was.
yeah,
we
It's
found
an
it.
event venue.
Oh, guys, this is what he said. This is what Braxton said. I don't know why I can't hear. Y'all was trying to see what. It's
Yeah.
Braxton. It's no big.
No worries.
It's
No
no
worries.
big, no problem at all. Yeah, he said he finally found a way to get through. Just not here. Yeah, if you want to come try to come back on and try again, you're more than welcome to. So it's no issue at all. We have
No
no
big deal.
time. There's no shows that are There's no shows following after this one, so we got all the time.
Yeah,
that we have.
and once you figure it out, then you'll be good for every other time that you're on.
Yeah.
So,
When it comes to using a new studio, it takes a little while for it to learn and become accustomed to it. So, yeah,
Take me about full time,
your
Braxton,
time.
so you're fine.
Definitely take your time. We've got all night.
Might as well troubleshoot now.
Back
As much as
scratcher.
you can.
Butt
I
scratcher.
mean, you should be like Nick, 15 minutes late to every show.
15, you're generous.
Well, in this case, I told. Well, you probably heard me say this earlier on Supernatural.
You're on time. Yeah.
I was on. I showed up on time because this was also a special occasion for Jeremy's 45th
Jeremy.
birthday.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he was late for that one the other day.
Man, you're supposed to celebrate like big 40, 50, 45th
Yeah.
is nothing.
Yeah, he's 45 years old now. Yeah.
Wait till he hits 50, then you really celebrate.
That's what Tom said. He said that on the last show. In fact,
Yes,
Or
he did.
52. Yeah.
He said there's nothing after 50.
2 years. I hope to do a show where I'm 60.
We
60,
will.
okay.
I'm gonna have a big show just because I'm 60 and made it that far.
And when Rob hits 70 here in a few months, we'll celebrate his too.
Oh, that's real, guys. Real quick, I got to mute myself for just a minute. So
Okay.
Yep.
Continue.
Hi to you, Mum.
Yep.
Go test yourself or whatever.
Don't drop the soap.
Yeah.
So how's the weather like in Australia?
Cold.
Oh,
For her, it's cold. For me, it's about medium. It says here 74. Hang on, let's see if that's correct. See if it changes. No, it's 74 at the moment. So it's pleasant.
well, anything's better than this heat wave we've been having.
You guys are getting heat now.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah.
We've had.
Yeah, it was 107 here over the weekend, and now it's.
We hit it up in the 90s the last few days with the heat indexes of being in the triple digits, and with the extra humidity, that makes it hard to breathe when I go outside.
Yeah. Now here in the tropics, we get that as well with humidity. Humidity is all over the place here because it's directly on the tropic line of Capricorn. So when you go outside in summer here, it's like walking into a wall, a wet wall. Can't breathe at all.
And it's cold for Nikki, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. I'm 18 degrees.
She's right down the bottom end of Australia. So yeah, she's getting the cold winds from
the
the Arctic and Arctic. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
I don't like winter.
18 degrees and 20.
I can deal with the heat more than I can deal with the cold. The cold actually, when it gets really cold outside, and here it'll get minus whatever. It's been like minus in the 60s during the winter at some points. We've had those would be record lows, but that cold air will really get into the bones. You
burns
can
your
feel
lungs,
it, and it'll hurt.
When you're breathing in, your lungs sort of freeze the second the air goes in there, and I experienced that up on Mount Hood in Oregon.
Cold in the winter.
Yeah, up in Oregon on Mount Hood, we got down to I think -13.
Oh wow!
My mother was visiting at that point in time when I was over there, and we had to walk from the car where he parked it to inside the lodge up there, and that was about a distance of maybe 60 feet, and we almost froze solid on the walk from the car to the lodge.
Oh, the older I get, the more I hibernate in the winter. You know, remember
Good for
when you
you.
were a kid?
We got a
Remember when you
guest.
were a kid?
Here comes somebody popping
Your
on the
mom would
stage.
have to pull you in.
Hi guys.
Hello,
Hi
Lurker.
guys, this is my friend Lurker, known Carlos from.
Hi. My
Hi
name's
there. Nice
Lurker.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I'm from the Texas Raid Hunters, Lurker. I'm their researcher.
Oh, nice,
Oh,
nice.
nice,
I've heard about that group.
I'm from Colorado, so I'm close.
Well,
I live
anyways,
all,
guys.
Illinois.
yeah, I was gonna. I live all the way up. I'm further away. I'm up in Chicago, Illinois.
Oh,
Illinois.
you're up
Illinois.
north.
Illinois.
Well, I want to take the time to thank you guys for welcoming me here tonight. So thank y'all.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're
No
very
worries.
welcome.
First off,
Yeah.
No worries at all.
Yeah, hot cocoa or hot apple cider. Yes, yes,
And
Brad.
again, during this group, it's an absolute pleasure to finally meet one of you guys from the crew. So, thanks so much for coming on.
We're in Texas.
San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, San Antonio. Okay.
South Central. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And how long you guys, have been operating as the group that you're a part of?
My leader's been operating for a very long time. I've been doing this for 6 years.
Nice.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
That seems like a long time to me.
Oh,
Braxton's going to jump on it again.
yeah, I think Braxton's gonna. Oh, Braxton's trying to get it.
Go.
We got
Yep.
someone else coming on.
Yep.
In fact, funny enough, he actually is just in the next nearby state. He's just a state over in Louisiana. So I think he's trying to
Yeah, it's okay.
connect again like he did previously.
He's figuring it out.
It's all good.
One
It
of
took
these-
me forever the first time I
one
jumped
of
on
these
with you
days
guys.
I'm gonna have to make a road trip to Texas.
Me too.
You should.
I wish I did work with Greg.
Well,
Cut out.
I've done a lot of research just on that one group, the Branch Davidians. And
Yeah.
the whole Waco incident. So I'd like to go down there and just film on location once. My brother, half brother, got married at that the Branch Davidians.
The temple that they burnt down.
It didn't all burn down, and there are still people living there, even though David Koresh is gone and so on
Yeah.
and so forth.
Uh-huh.
There's still Branch Davidians living there. He actually stayed there for a couple of weeks and got married on site there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, my
Awesome.
brother Alan. He's a nomad.
Very fascinating.
He doesn't stay in one place too long. He comes back to Wisconsin to visit his mom and family. Maybe for like a week at a time, and then he's off again. He's been all over the world.
Nice.
That's really good to hear.
That's awesome.
And my daughter, Deborah is almost older than he is, or no? He's only a couple years older than my oldest daughter.
So real quick, I didn't hear it because again my computer was briefly muted for the first time. Again, Lurker, what's your actual name again? I apologize.
It's okay. Carlos is my name, actually.
Carlos,
But
okay.
everybody calls me Lurker because I'm mysterious and I do things that are come with surprises.
Okay.
As a researcher, yeah.
He
So
hides in the background and jumps on you. No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
So I also wanted to ask, and of course, obviously, it's not the first time we probably asked this question, but what got you into the paranormal?
what got me into the paranormal TV shows.
Huh.
Wanted to find some answers myself. Wanted to see if I could get the same results as those guys, but I ended up getting totally different results from the guys on the TV shows.
Well, that's
And
because TV's all about ratings
yeah,
and making money.
And fixed.
yep.
No, I
Faker than a WWE event.
I wish, speaking of WWE, I wish that they never broke those rules
Yep.
and kept
Yeah.
the secrets. I wish, because it was much better when I thought it was, real. Now that it's fake, and how fake it actually is, and how much it's not so much, and it's very, very predictable now that I've got all the answers. You know,
Sorry,
I
Lurker, I
forget,
didn't mean to interrupt.
I forget the words that they use. They got a word for it, but it was like just keeping their secret.
Kayfabe. What is kayfabe?
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's it. Once they broke that, it became too predictable.
Yep. Oh,
So
You all right, Chris?
yeah, just stretching.
Yeah.
So, Lurker, my next question I got to ask is, which, within the last, I mean, whenever it was within the last couple months or so, I mean, since you live in the San Antonio area, which locations have you recently investigated at?
we investigated, some of the spots we did again. Like we call it the forest, but there's like different areas of the forest we explored. You know, so we can't disclose that right now because the land is sacred. That's
Right,
why.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
Makes a lot of sense because you do have those locations every now and then. You got to keep them hidden until you get the okay for it. So that
Yeah.
usually that's a quite a common practice when it comes to certain locations like that.
You
It's
get a lot of
unfortunate.
stuff.
Yeah, it's sacred. It's unfortunate that I would like to share it with you guys, but the lands and the spirits that inhabited the lands know us. That's why we go there.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice.
It's kind of like the sacred sites of the Aboriginals down here. Like I've been to a few places like that, and yeah, you can't say anything about it, otherwise you might get something come visit you. Or when you go back, it'll be a negative effect. I
We
know
actually
that's for
have a
sure.
similar location up here. I mean, most people don't really know this, but we actually have kind of a similar location like that down in the southern part of Illinois, which unfortunately that part of the state is about 6.5 hours away from me. But we have, I could say a couple things about it, just not much, not only just because it's sacred too, but um, I just don't know all the information yet. We have something called because people would always think when you think about the state of Illinois, you would immediately think of Chicago, obviously. But when you're in the southern part of the state, it's a different world down there because we have something called the Shawnee National Forest,
Yeah.
and
Hey,
that's
Tom.
like that spreads throughout miles of not just forest but also farmland too. It's practically within the middle of nowhere, and there are numerous, tales and legends associated with the Shawnee National Forest. It's been like that, of course, for centuries or whatnot. And it's kind of, like I said, kind of like with your situation. While
Yeah,
some stories, can be talked about with it, there are some others that are still considered sacred to this very day.
right. I was just wondering, is the area that you're at, is it near the Appalachian Mountains or the Appalachian Trail? Sorry, I mean, trail.
I don't know if it's anywhere close because I know the Appalachian Trail is further more eastward. So I'm not. I don't think it extends into the state of Illinois. But
Okay,
that's a really good question though.
okay.
I'm gonna actually.
Metropolis is pretty far south too.
What's that?
Metropolis is pretty far south too.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
like 6.5 hours just for me.
Wow.
Yeah, so about the same distance.
So about the
How
same
far are
distance
you
from
from
here to
Odessa?
Brisbane.
What
Do
was
you
the
know how far
question?
you're from Odessa?
Odessa?
Yeah. Lurker, I mean.
What's up, Odessa? About 5
Yeah.
hours away.
Okay, so I was just trying to do the math in my head how far I am from you.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're in South Central.
Okay, so I'm about 7 hours from that. So I'm about 12 hours from you. Okay.
24 for me.
It's basically straight south, but yeah, it's like 12 hours.
Straight shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes 18 from here to San Francisco. So do the math from San Francisco onwards.
Well, I'll
I
meet
just
over.
looked up the I just looked up the trail, by the way. Yeah, it's nowhere. The Appalachian Trail is nowhere near us. In fact, the
Oh, okay.
closest,
It's nowhere near you. Okay.
yeah,
I
it's
was
way
curious.
further out east. I mean, in fact, the only thing I can say is the state that's the closest to us to the Appalachian Trail is West Virginia, and even that, of course, obviously, that's still quite a distance away.
Okay. No, I was just curious, man. I haven't been up there. Oh, I don't know what's
There's
up
nothing
north.
here in Colorado, so I always have to go.
I had a couple of people up here from Texas not so long ago. What was it? Well, actually, it was quite a while ago. But my stepfather's kids, they were born and raised in Texas, so they come up for a visit just before a couple years before he passes away and stuff, and they couldn't believe the snow that was on the ground. And my stepfather used to tell me, yeah, they get like a half an inch of snow on the ground, they shut down the whole state. And it's like, really? And they get up here and they're like fascinated by all the things we have that they don't have in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's because this is all farmland and that's all the oil wells down there. I mean, there's a lot of differences, but they get no snow. She's like, I was born and raised and I've never seen snow in my life. They're in their 30s, never seen snow the whole time they were living in Texas. And here, when they come to Wisconsin, oh, we've got about a foot of snow on the ground, another 16 inches coming.
Yeah.
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 That's when it's time to put on pants instead of shorts and go out.
People are crazy. I've seen people wearing shorts in the winter here.
Uh-huh.
I believe it.
I do it until I actually have to
Go
make long
outside.
trips, or if I'm going to the Abbey or something, Nick,
No
then I'll put
way.
on pants. Otherwise, it's
No
shorts.
way. Snow comes, I'm hibernating.
I'll probably be there in about 5 years, Joe. When I'm about your age, I'll probably say something. Oh, are you okay, Nick?
Yep, I'm good. Spirits are just getting funky.
But I'll never forget when I was a kid. I could go outside until I was blue in the face and stuff like that, and my mom would do everything just to get me back in the house. Our snowmobile suits and stuff are soaked. Hair's frozen. Oh, time for you to come in. No, 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. Like that, I get out of the truck and it's like, unlock that door. God damn it, unlock the door. I gotta get in.
All the frustration.
Nick, do you have any investigations coming up?
Well, you build a tolerance when you live in the winter climates. You build a tolerance, and I lost mine.
Nikki, was that question directed towards me or was that to Lurker?
Everybody.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Anybody? Yep.
Why don't we ask Lurker first, since we've kind of been asking. Do you have anything coming up, Lurker?
Not right now, but I would say this: I'm in the research and developing different techniques and methods for the next investigation. As of right now.
Always
And he does
interesting.
have a YouTube channel, so follow his YouTube channel. It's really interesting. So.
Investigations?
Yes.
Awesome.
So my role is to find different things and different methods and techniques that would get us the most paranormal evidence or data, everybody likes to call it, to get.
Yeah.
So
Yep. I get you.
Right. Yeah,
I
yeah.
get
I
you
was just,
totally.
it's always good to try to plan out certain type of investigations, like for the upcoming season, especially at a time like when, I mean, I know obviously it's sometimes kind of tough to do it, especially during this time of the year. And I don't mean just like,
Yeah.
involving, like with 4th of July coming up, but just with the intense heat that we've been dealing with. And that's what makes it
Yes.
Especially
very
down there, I
difficult.
bet.
Yeah, because
It's
I was
probably hot as
explaining
hell
this earlier. I
right
was
now.
explaining this earlier that I got a couple investigations that. Well, I have one coming up near the end of July, but the rest of them, on the other hand, thankfully, will not be until September. So by then, yeah, it's
Mhm.
still pretty warm out, but it'll definitely be a lot cooler by the time we enter September.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
you
think
know,
I'm doing the prison museum next month in Canyon City.
Oh, awesome.
Oh yeah, the prison. I remember the prison museum. Yep.
I've never been there to investigate. I went there once as a museum, but not at night to investigate. So
Oh
Wow.
really? Okay.
we'll see.
That'd be
The
interesting.
actor what does it for the money, but I've never been, so I want to go. So
Yeah.
there's going to be like 80 people in that one place.
Right.
what
I'm
he
sad
said
Dennis is no
about
longer there. A whole nother story.
trying to develop new techniques and all of that when you go out, that makes a lot of sense because, for example, I did up until this year, it ain't going to happen this year for obvious reasons, but
Yeah.
every year since 2019, at least once a year, we made it to Prairie Road. All right. And to do
Cool.
the Beast of Prairie Road investigation. And every year from 2019 to last time we did it, I kept trying to come up with new things and new ideas. And I never got the chance because there's no way in hell I'm paying the money.
Yeah.
And the guy kind of
Yeah.
broke his word to me. Well, you guys ain't never gonna have to pay because you've been good, blah blah whatever. So anyway, I wanted to go out there because uh, them dubbing who was it? Uh,
Bye, Rob.
what was it?
Oh
Barnaby Jones from Caps dubbed the place
Yeah.
the
Skinwalker
Skinwalker
Ranch,
Ranch, Wisconsin. So I wanted to go
Oh,
back
wow.
there because of all the evidence we've gotten and stuff and all the things that happened to us. I wanted to go out there with a compass and see what would happen. Because I had a feeling that on certain spots of that land, that compass would have went nuts.
Yeah.
especially over
That's
at
neat. I've never tried a compass.
That's actually a good
I have.
idea.
That's good.
Try it.
And,
Yeah, I
and
have a.
I'll never get a chance to do that unless this old guy changes his mind about charging so much. You know,
Yeah. It's
and
outrageous. Get
it is. But the guy that named that place the Skinwalker Ranch of Wisconsin was, dead on when he named that place. Because when we first went there, I was just expecting, the Beast Bray Road stories, you know, and to hear stories about the Dog Man or the Wolf Man or however you
yeah.
want to describe him, right? And, and what we got was a lot more than we bargained for. And after that first time out there, and we spent like 8 hours just interviewing the property owner that first day before we did any investigations or take any pictures and stuff. And I felt that it was deemed that we had to go back every year, once a year at least because the property deemed it. I mean, we had pictures of because he's got trail cams all over the 30 acres, like 6 or 7 trail cams on the 30 acres of land. And
Oh, jeez.
he's got pictures of things in the sky that you cannot identify, you know. And we're like, and there's pictures on the property that you just can't figure out what the hell it is. I mean, I lived here in Wisconsin all my life. I know the wildlife. I know what's native to Wisconsin. I know what's here. I know what the stuff looks like. And this is none of that. You know.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It really
Want to see
does.
Nick get jump scared? Oh wait, no, I
Oh,
can't. I don't have access
jeez.
to that. I don't have
So,
access to that right now, Nick. Sorry, bud.
Well, and then there's and then you go back. Some of those stories, go back to the Native Americans, in the early
Yes.
years, and you've got all these stories and stuff. But if you look at where the Beast of Bray Road sits with some of the effigy mounds and stuff like that, you could definitely see on some of that Native American lore or some of those stories coming into play on that property.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
I mean, he's got trail cam pictures of what appears to be a Bigfoot standing there, but at the same time, the Bigfoot standing there, the silhouette of like what looks like Bigfoot. There's also UFOs up in the sky.
yep, yep.
And I've got all those pictures and stuff like that. But it's like everything I've got with Beasts of Bray Road, none of it can be explained still.
Which actually does lead to a question. I'm also going to ask this to Lurker too. Is that Lurker in this case, like when it comes to like some of the aforementioned stuff that Joe mentioned, has that ever been a type of phenomenon that's occurred throughout the San Antonio region, like with UFOs and or any cryptid sightings of any way,
Uh,
shape, or form?
not so
Nick, I
much
think you have a
UFO,
guilty person in chat.
more in as far as the cryptid side, like the skinwalkers and big feet too. Just those two predominantly in the area of Texas. More
Yeah.
so than aliens. I mean, as far as what we know or
Right,
encounter.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The aliens.
Well,
I got to admit, I was a little bit surprised. I was kind of a little bit surprised because I
Oh,
know there are
chupacabra?
certain areas of Texas where they are hotspots for UFO activity. So I would have figured that San Antonio would have been one of them. So that really kind of changes a lot, unless again, like you said, as far as you know, that is.
Yeah, there could be UFO sightings in my city, but it's just right now we're just so focused on the cryptid and paranormal side as opposed to more on UFO. You know, so
Right. Yeah.
I'm just telling you what I know.
the thing with the cryptids, though, especially the skinwalker, that's like enriched in the deep Native American history, and that doesn't surprise me with Texas, with the Native Americans that would be down in Texas back in the 17 1800s.
Oh, much older than that. There's a lot of tribes in
Yeah,
Texas.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I was just using that as a reference to
Right.
say old, but I know it goes back a lot farther. But you got to realize the whole U.S. was basically nothing but Native Americans before we
Exactly.
got here.
Yeah, and well, not only that, I mean, a good port. I think almost the entirety of the state of Texas, as well as some of the southwestern states, were also, for time being, was also part of was still Mexican territory. So you also have to remember not just the Native American side, but also when it was still Mexican. So you also have Mexican history involved as well.
Yeah.
Chupacabras.
Yeah.
Mexican Indians. That's what they call 'em, Mexican Indians.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Okay.
But
Okay.
with all that history, there's a lot of it that's gonna cross over, kind of like still be in effect today.
Yeah.
Some of those stories that they told around the fires and the tents and stuff like that, they had to come from somewhere. You know,
Right. Right.
and that many people, when you consider how big those Native American tribes or the Mexican groups were, all couldn't be lying about what they saw. You know, I mean, some of this had to come from some form of reality. it makes the cryptids more believable when you get all these stories collaborating each other over hundreds and hundreds of years, if not thousands of years.
Yeah.
Right, right.
You
Talk
know,
about cryptids. I reckon I saw one
that's
when
what
we were
makes the
investigating.
cryptids so interesting to me.
Yeah.
You know, especially the Beast of Bray Road. When it comes to possible misidentifications, you know, you've got the gray wolf, which is native to Wisconsin here. And the pack, well, they weren't so, back when the sightings were taking place, the wolves were not so, they went endangered for a while. Now they bounce back again. And the more they bounce back, and the more these sightings happen. But at the same time, and this comes with what they're doing today, which I don't think they should be messing with. It's a Jurassic Park accident waiting to happen. Uh,
Hmm.
Bringing back extinct species.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't
You're,
they do that?
yeah,
Well,
they just brought back somewhat the dire wolf,
Yeah, the dire
Oh,
wolf. Yeah,
Yeah.
which were
yeah.
but
massive.
at
I
the
mean,
same time, you got to realize when the dire wolf was heavily roaming the United States and stuff like this, so was the gray wolf. Okay, and they're both canines. Way back then, you don't know, they could have been intermixed. Both had a and people could see a bigger form of the wolf. It's like nature has a way of surviving. Nature always finds a way. All right.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we keep discovering, especially in the oceans, all these extinct species that we thought were extinct. Well, how do you know they're not extinct? You know, the dire wolf could have went so far north in some deep woods that we can't even explore because we can't
Be
get
right back.
through,
Right.
right? And then all of a sudden their population grows one year because the conditions are just right and they start coming out. Well, somebody could be actually seeing a dire wolf and mistaking it because they're so big. And then you get them dire wolves and they get on a thing and they go like this when they're, at night on the side of the road eating roadkill, and they kind of, yeah, that could scare the hell out of a person, make them think the
Yeah.
thing's 7, 8 feet tall,
Right.
especially when there's no lights except the moonlight and your headlights of your car. And you see this big giant beast looking thing
Yeah. I'll be putting my car in reverse, thanks.
that's true.
staring on
Yeah,
roadkill.
definitely. Yeah.
What's the big one down there in Australia, Nikki? The big cryptid.
Um, not Bigfoot. Widgies. So it's like Bigfoot, but more humanoid.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like out in Australia, you guys have what's known as the Yowie over there, which is
Oh, there you
also
go.
which is also considered like Australia's version of Bigfoot.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to know that like a lot of different countries out there have kind of almost the same or similar type of creature, but they all go
Yeah.
by different names, obviously.
Bigfoot
And they say in this case, they also say too when it comes to the Yowie. I mean, some people have interpreted it as being kind of like Bigfoot, like kind of like a peaceful creature. But there's also other stories in which they say it's actually a more aggressive species of Sasquatch. But of course, also unlike over here, which don't get me wrong, Bigfoot sightings obviously are very rare, but Nikki, if you probably know, I don't even have to remind you. In
Yeah.
Australia, when it comes to Yowie sightings, those are even more
Oh,
rare because
yeah.
the times that a lot of these creatures have been seen, especially in different areas of Australia, is either like in the outback or just
Yeah.
in a lot of the very open, sparsely populated areas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I could still recall when because Finding Bigfoot, I remember did an episode on the Yowie. They came
Mm-hmm.
out to Australia to
Yeah.
investigate, and while they did have a lot of people come out to meet them, only a
Mm-hmm.
few, like probably only just like 6 or 7 people, I would say, actually had. Hey, Dominic, good to see you. I think only like 6 or 7 people out of that group actually did have an encounter with a Yowie. So it just goes, and even they said the amount of reports they got was way smaller compared to what you have here, not just here in the U.S., but throughout North America.
But see, that goes to prove a point. You know, you've got all these countries, and they've all got a similar sighting. Yeah, it's called Bigfoot here. It's called something there. You know,
Yeti,
and down
Sasquatch.
in Florida, it's called something else, and down in Louisiana, it's called something else. It depends on where you are in the world, but it's all pretty much the same creature. And you know what? Them talking about the Bigfoot being violent and so on and so forth. You know, I think it's just like any other normal human being or group that, you know, if you invade its territory, you know, they're going to throw rocks at you or whatever to get you the hell out of there. They don't want you there. You're not welcome.
Right.
You know, and that's like a normal defense system. I mean, you go into a dog's territory. My dog. All right, take my dog for example. She's the closest thing there is to a wolf without being a wolf. She's a purebred Siberian Husky. All right. Yeah, she's a pack animal, but me, my wife, and my grandkids, we're her pack. All right. She don't like other dogs coming into this house. She don't like other dogs coming into her yard. Very rarely will she let a dog come into her yard and play, you know, and talk to, you know. Most of the time she gets that violent bark, get the hell off my land. You know. But when you go to approach her to pet her and stuff like that, she's a sweetheart.
There was actually a video out there. I mean, I'm sure you probably heard of this term. I'm sure you guys probably heard of this type of cryptid called the Ohio Grassman.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
And there's been a guy. He actually had been on the show both Paranormal.
I a lot from him when I lived up there. No.
Yeah, he actually had been a guest on both Paranormal and Unexplained Caught on Camera, and he showed his videos there. But he was always trying to find evidence of the Ohio Grassman, which I got to admit, the evidence that he's uncovered has been phenomenal. I mean, I think it's safe to say at this point.
I cannot hear neither of y'all voices, but can y'all hear mine though?
Oh, Brock!
We heard you, Braxton.
Yeah, we heard you.
Okay, I don't think they can hear me.
Nope, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Here, hold on. I'll message him privately.
Yeah. There you go. We heard him. I wanted to go down and investigate in Texas so bad, man.
Oh, you're gonna get your bang. You're gonna get for what it's worth when you go down.
I don't know if y'all can or cannot hear me, but I cannot hear y'all.
Okay. Well, I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you. He can't hear us, evidently.
Yeah.
If y'all can hear me, y'all can put it in the private chat.
Yeah, I'll just.
Oh yeah, we can, huh?
I just did that.
Yeah.
Who's the Rob? Oh, Robert.
Yeah, that was Robert. He had
Robert White.
Yeah, he had to take his call from his dietitian.
Okay,
that's why he left.
I'm used to it saying Robert.
Okay, I see someone else comments.
Right, exactly.
I couldn't hear what he said. Yeah, Braxton, we can hear you.
What in the heck? I cannot hear y'all.
Yeah, I told him in the private chat over on the side.
Oh, you did? Okay.
And,
that makes two of us.
Generally, I've had issues as well coming in and out of shows and stuff. So especially when
I had somebody
on this. I was like, "Oh, see ya, bye." All good.
I think it was Dom and Tom and Nick and
we've all been there.
Sitting on. I don't know. We were all just talking that night. Yes, and
Right. Well,
I'll just throwing it over here.
while we're still setting things up, while Braxton's still trying to set things up, what I was going to say, this guy, going back to with what I was saying about the Grassman, I mean, I have to admit, the evidence that he's collected is, like I said, has been phenomenal. I mean, I think it's pretty much safe to say at this point that the Grassman does pretty much exist through, through his evidence. But the only problem is because he's been going to Salt Fork State Park, which is, a huge active area of Grassman sightings, is as time goes on, you could start seeing these creatures like which they say the grassman is said to be more of an aggressive species, but you could clearly tell that they were becoming you could tell they were becoming more aggressive compared to each time he was coming out, because if you're a frequent visitor to some of those type of locations out there, and if a creature like the grassman knows, they're probably going to be like literally like, oh, no, they would probably be like, oh no, not this guy again. And that's when they're going to start getting more aggressive at that point. And there was a video that one of those videos that he captured, which he went to Salford State Park. He went to Salford State Park at night, where first it was he noticed immediately that the woods was incredibly quiet, not a sound or anything.
Wow.
But at one point, while he was still standing in the dark, and he didn't even have any weapons or anything to protect himself with, so he was completely like isolated. And he at one point captures a pair of eyes staring, like glowing eyes or reflecting eyes to him. But just before he was going to try to see more of what the eyes were attached to, all of a sudden you heard this deep bellowing growl. Like, it was not a friendly sound at all. And as soon as he heard that, he took off and he got the hell out of there. So the way I see it, he probably actually had an encounter with two of the grassmen, one from afar and one that was almost ready to attack.
Yeah.
So he did not take any chances. He got out of there. That was literally that. Get out of here. You're not welcome.
That's one of the ones that really fascinates me is, and I'll get down there one of these days too, is the Ozark Howler.
Oh,
you ever hear that one?
Yep.
The Ozark Howler. I think I know what that is, and I think it's been debunked. Okay, because it goes right into to the other thing about science is Black Panthers don't exist. Bullshit. What that is it's a cougar, or no, not a cougar. It's a jaguar or a leopard that's got that melatonin disease, so it makes them all black.
Yeah, it's like the opposite. It's like the
albinoism.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, it's like the opposite to albinism.
Right. So if one cat or one animal can have it, why not all of them?
Right.
All right. So around here, the DNR tell you, oh, panthers don't exist. Bullshit. There's a black cougar around here, and people are calling it a panther for obvious reasons, right? No, that can't happen. It never happens. And bullshit. I don't buy that it's not impossible. If it's possible in one species of feline, I believe it can be possible in all species of feline. Now, that being said, the what was it? Josh Gates has a team when he does Expedition X. He sits in his office and he's got a team. I can't remember their names, but there's two of them on the team.
It's a male and a female.
And they go out and they investigated the Ozark Howler once. And the guy, he's like in the zoology, cryptozoology, and all this. He hears the sound that somebody recorded, and he goes, "That sounds just like a bobcat."
Guys, I'll be right back. I gotta talk to my mom real quick.
And
That's
And
right. Definitely.
Okay.
the description of the Hozark howler is that it's all black with glowing red eyes, etc., etc., etc. You know, and they've gotten things on trail cams and other pictures of it, and so on and so forth. Well, I believe that it's just a black bobcat because if you hit its eyes just right, they'll either glow. Like sometimes my puppy, her eyes will glow red or green, depending
Yeah.
on the type
Yeah.
of light. And why can't that same theory be applied to this?
Right.
That what they're seeing down there in the Ozarks is just a bobcat and it's black.
Mm-hmm.
You cause a cat or a wild canine to make those noises because you're invading their turf. They're extremely territorial. So they're going to make those noises to scare you away because they'd rather you leave than to try to deal with you. You know,
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm not saying it's a
I can hear you, Braxton.
misidentification, but I'm saying that's a good chance of what the Ozark Tower really is. Some things can't be identified or explained, but I'm pretty sure that one can.
Yeah.
And it's like the hodag. The hodag, the hodag is one that's a big joke up here in Wisconsin because Rhinelander sat there and was like almost bankrupt. And they came up with this thing and they said, okay, we're going to make this weird creature and we're going to call it a hodag. And this mixture. So people are out and about and telling stories for years, ever since they did this in whatever it was. I can't remember the exact date, 18 something. When they invented this thing. And ever since then, people think they've seen this hodag thing. Well, that goes, I don't know where it started, but the lore is that if enough people believe in something, it becomes reality. It's called a topa,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Hey, man.
Well, I think that's what happened with the hodag. There's enough people that actually believe in this thing that was created just to boost the tourism buck into Rhinelander, Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
They got a big statue of this ugly creature and stuff, but people actually believe in it and see it now. You know,
Yeah, we had the same thing at a location where I was investigating. A lot of people would make up stories of things that they've seen and stuff, and we're just like,
well,
dude, don't fuck that stuff, because,
but
but
there was
yeah,
proof that this thing was made up. They actually
yeah,
have pictures, old black and white pictures from the newspaper article of them actually building this creature and stuff like this and explaining why they did it.
right,
The burst, the town was about to go bankrupt and they did it to boost the tourism buff. We had Wisconsin Dells was like our biggest, now it's just nothing but a fucking joke.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
But why can't that be possible? Yet people believe in something so much that it comes to life.
exactly. I think that can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
It
can
basically
happen.
yeah,
becomes the talk of the town. Basically,
Right.
the mouth one person tells 10 people, then 10 people tells 100 people, and then
And
100 tells 1,000. I believe in the
yeah,
1 million principle there. Yeah, so I know what you're
yeah,
talking about.
well, it goes like those movies. Like, all right, the tale go, the story about Candyman. That that whole thing probably went on for years before the movie was made about
yeah,
him, right?
Right.
mm-hmm.
Because Cabrini Green really existed in
Yeah,
Chicago.
still does. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
All
kind
right,
of.
and think
It's
about this.
cleaning up,
So,
right?
what's another? The Slender Man. Wasn't that just some?
Slim.
But it's
That
like,
was just like 10 years ago or something.
but still, enough people believed into it, it came to be. You know,
It's spirit. Listen,
how many,
we're
how
speaking. It
many
brings it in.
native, how many Native American tribes over the years told stories of the Skinwalker,
Right.
Yep.
where the Skinwalker could morph into this or morph into that, and it was either evil or good, depending. There was so many different stories about it, but today we're still talking about the Skinwalker because of that
Mm-hmm.
famous ranch, the Skinwalker Ranch of Utah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep. Never have seen
People
it.
are still talking about those stories today and
Yeah.
claim to see a Skinwalker.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean,
Joe, have you seen one?
it goes to say, like I said at the end of my shows, anything's possible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Chris, have
Finally,
you ever seen one?
someone said it. Anything's possible. I've been saying that too. Anything is possible at this
I
point.
say that I
Yeah.
say that at the end of every time I do an Insane Asylum podcast.
Yeah.
I always say anything's possible. And I
Yeah.
actually think we've got it on the truck too now.
Oh, cool.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
But the truck is a work in progress. I don't know if you
Yeah.
see my truck, Nikki, but we
Mm-hmm.
people, all these people get all these things, and you know how many versions of the Echo One I've seen,
Mm-hmm.
the Ghostbusters vehicle.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, people, be original. Come up with something different. So when
Yeah.
my wife and I bought the 2019 Ford Explorer
Oh, nice.
Police Interceptor Edition, and it was still painted black and white like an old squad car, you know, we decided earlier this year that we're going to deck it out like a paranormal truck and vehicle.
Mm.
So that's what we've been doing.
Oh, cool.
It's got we believe and all kinds of different things, but that's one of those things I'll have put on there too eventually. That it's in the works.
Yep.
Anything's possible. The important
Oh,
thing
good.
was getting the websites on there.
Hi, Rob.
So
Hello.
finally off the phone to her.
So
No, you're
Was worried about you.
I run
I had
a podcast. Uh, I forgot your name already. I'm old.
logo.
Lurgan.
Carlos.
All right. I run a podcast, Carlos, on
Mm.
Friday nights called Insane Asylum. I used to do it with somebody, but you have to get rid of those toxic people after a while.
When they
Um,
flake on there like heroes. Yeah.
so I'm gonna end up when it gets colder here. I'm gonna end up having guests on my show and bringing it back. Uh, Contact me through Facebook somehow. Find me on Facebook. Uh,
Um,
it's
to queue
Joe
you up.
CAR. Yeah.
Let me try to get your information in.
Uh, I
Yeah.
I gotta do that. I can.
You can send it to him on the private chat on here, Joe, if you
Yeah.
want.
Oh,
Over there. Right over there. Go to
It's
the
got the
private
little
chat bit.
bubble thing right beside their picture on bottom.
It says comments and then private chat. You go to that and you can put your stuff in.
Yeah, or that way too. Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I'll
Do
put
that.
my info there too as well.
Plenty
Okay.
of ways.
I'm just gonna put it out
I
there
mean, if
so
you want to
before I
throw it out here,
forget.
you can too. It don't matter. I think we all have Joe on here, so it don't really. It's not like he's giving away top secret information if he gives his
Yeah.
contact.
Yeah. Oh.
There, I just copied the Facebook page. Put it in private chat
Yeah.
for you
Mm-hmm.
under your name.
Let me do it for mine just in case.
Yeah.
That's how
Chris,
I
do you have anything
contact.
coming up next soon?
That's
Excuse
how
me,
I
guys.
contact people to be a guest on my show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. I was going to say something to Rob, and I can't remember what. I'm getting dumb, Rob. I was going to say something to you, and I can't remember what I was going to say.
That's why your hair's going
Just wait.
upwards. It's still leaking
Yeah,
out.
I
It's
know.
getting closer to heaven. The hair's going up.
Whatever.
Robert, do you have anything coming up?
Who? Me?
Yeah, you.
Nothing recent, no. Nothing that's wheelchair accessible, at least.
No.
Yeah, but I have been doing the rehab. I did the rehab yesterday, and that was pretty good. Looks like I've been graduating up to a wheelie walker, which is good, so I can actually walk around.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, look at you
Better,
go.
better than the crutches, because where my hands are, they've been locking up. So
Sorry,
yeah,
guys.
I can't do the crutch things. So the
I
wheelie
ain't
walker's a lot
see.
better. So yeah,
Sorry, I was gone for a little bit. It took a little bit longer than expected.
that's all right,
That's all
Nick.
right.
You were not as long as Rob. It's okay.
Did I miss anything, or
No.
Oh, you missed loads. You just totally
Quadro.
everything. The world exploded while you were gone, but yeah, don't worry about
It's
Okay.
back.
it.
Chris's hair's
The
growing a
love of
few
our
inches.
group came back.
Oh, wait.
There he is, he's back.
Oh, Joe's back. You all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to get the background to work, but Emacs wouldn't do
Like
it
it.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking bullshit stuff.
Uh-huh.
It probably doesn't like the browser I'm using.
We all
Well,
want a fancy background.
it took me ages to get this one up behind me, so yeah.
Well, I was trying to put my logo back behind me.
Right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, your insane logo?
Yeah, my Insane Asylum logo.
Yeah, that's a good logo. I like that logo. Nick needs the shimp logo.
Well, that logo, ever since I created that logo back in 2020, I think it was,
Yeah.
I've gotten nothing but a lot of people liking. I really like that logo. I really like it. So I knew I made the right choice. You know, the first couple of logos I made for the show, I didn't get that kind of reaction for.
Yeah.
You know, to the point where now
Yeah, there goes
now
Rob.
it's on the back of, like you can see down there. It's on the back of my vest.
Yeah.
See, that's my leather vest. See?
Braxton says he's going to download the Microsoft browser
Oh, you did? Okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Because, yeah.
to try. He was just using a Samsung one on his phone.
Funny enough, I
I
just
can see
messaged
it.
him. I just messaged him too. I said, worst comes to worst.
There it is. I see it. Okay.
That gives me
Cool.
Bret Hart vibes, Joe.
Huh?
That's pretty
That gives
cool.
me Bret Hart vibes.
Well, and Lurker, funny enough, Joe's not the only one that's got a vest like that. I have one too, with a patch on the back of it. I don't have it with me right now, but because I saw you
Well,
send
I
out.
just made this one because of yours.
Yeah, exactly. It's
I saw Nick's when I first met
And you got
Nick.
jealous.
When I first met Nick about 3 years ago at the Paranormal Conference in Chicago, I saw his vest, and it's like,
Yeah.
man, I got to do that with the rocker arm. But the vest I had a big embroidered eagle on the back, so I had to buy a whole new vest. But I've also
That is so.
did this, so
Nick is getting dressed.
it's got the purple paracord in here now too. See?
Ooh.
That's cool.
Since we're showing off logos, I'm going to show off mine too.
Yeah, go
Lurker's
right.
got one.
You know what? I'm gonna, if you don't mind, Lurker, I'm gonna full screen it so we can get a full picture of it.
Okay, so we have our Texas Wraith Hunters logo on here. That's our thing right here. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah,
There it
I was
is.
gonna say if you could turn.
It's
Yeah,
nice.
you could see it a little bit. If you could turn it a little bit more to the. There we
There
go.
you
There
go.
we go. Yeah,
Yeah,
now we.
there you go. Yeah.
Perfect.
That's the
Oh,
front,
that's cool.
Okay.
and here's the back. You're gonna love the back because that represents me as a researcher. So hold on
Yeah.
one second.
Ooh.
Oh, I like that.
Looks. Is
Lift
there?
up the hood.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
Wow, look at that. That is
that is
amazing.
cool.
That is
Dude,
really
that's
cool.
awesome.
Very impressive.
Nice.
Love it,
Thank you.
dude.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's. And when you make such logos like that, especially like a custom made one, that's always something very special, especially for a paranormal team. Although my patch that I don't have it with me right now, but with my patch, however, that I have, because I've worked with different paranormal groups, understandably, I knew for a fact that I was not really going to be able to make such clothing like that for every single team. So I just made like a custom made vest, and just the top and the top rocker and the bottom rockers are just say paranormal investigator. So in a way, it's not representing any team whatsoever. It can represent any team that you could think of, whether it's the crew I'm a part of, or let's say if I was working with you guys down in Texas, it would represent that, or Chris in Colorado, or even with Nikki and Robert's case, it doesn't matter. It's like basically the logo that belongs to everyone. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get her off,
Basically,
Nick.
you basically like to help out everybody.
Exactly.
You know?
It's not to represent one's team or anything whatsoever. It's to represent everybody, and just like real. Because again, truth be told, I got inspired from it through like real motorcycle clubs with their patches, and
Well,
it's
I can see why. Holy fuck. Every time I'm in Chicago, I see a mess of them outlaws.
yeah,
All
the Outlaws,
fucking
yeah.
place.
But I've always learned, because I've seen a lot of documentaries. They always say that when they wear that patch on their back, they have become an icon to everybody. And so by wearing my patch, it's the same thing. I have become an icon in this case to the paranormal community.
Beef
Right.
stick,
I got
Nick.
that.
Oh, wait, hang on a second. Hang on.
Gotta see
I'll
hers.
zoom in on. I'll zoom
Showing
in
off
on
your
that.
logo.
Hesitant. So you can
Yeah,
sleep with
I
me.
remember that logo. Yeah,
It's 6 foot.
6
6
foot.
foot. Wow.
It's a dinner.
Oh,
Nice.
Question: is that a real picture from your investigation? That logo?
Yes.
I knew it. I knew it.
I knew
Yeah.
it. He said, I love it.
I knew it. I called it. That is so cool
Yeah,
to use your
snuggle.
own picture as a logo. That's
Well,
like very great.
between the logo and your online presence, like Nick, you and I, and basically everybody here, has been on Fear Fans. But when we're on Fear Fans or whatever we're on, we've got like an image, all
yeah.
right. And I'm not wearing it tonight because it's kind of hot in here to begin with.
Okay.
Yeah.
But a lot of times you'll see me wearing my hat,
Yeah.
that one hat that I wear, and people will recognize me more now because of the vest and the hat, because of the logos on the vest.
Stick my face.
Exactly.
And they'll recognize me. They're like, "Oh, aren't you that insane Joe that does that podcast on the paranormal?" Or didn't I watch you talking about Leprechaun 3 or whatever? I mean, it strikes up a conversation when I go out in public. So I keep another reason, parting ways and stuff is I keep up the presence by being nice and answering these questions, being just like the person you see when you see me online.
Yeah.
Most people ain't gonna want to mention, they don't mention or want to meet the person that never heard. Oh, where's the other guy? I ain't gonna mention him by name because we're live, but
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I got rid of the toxic people, but when people see that hat,
They know.
they know. I mean, and I even wear it to family functions and stuff. So when I'm out in public, no matter where I'm at,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get
Nick, you
another
want a
one
pen?
of these.
Is that on there too, Nikki?
But
You
there
want a
it
pen?
is. So when people see me out and about, you know, they know who I am and where I'm from because of this hat.
Mm-hmm.
And this
Yeah,
isn't
we've got
even custom made. I
it's
found
pretty.
that.
I like
I
it. It's
had a
got
lady walk up to me and she's like, "I really like your hat. Where can I get one?
oh,
Where
cool.
can I buy one?"
That's
Mm-hmm.
cool.
And
Just
I
for
That's
said,
someone to
awesome.
come
"Well,"
up.
I said, "Go to Amazon. That's where I found it."
I
Well, it is. It's the
Yeah.
truth.
know. It's
You
just
know.
funny. People always try and make things so hard, and it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that
I
simple.
move on.
if you want to buy a hat, look,
And
Google it.
it wasn't that bad because it only cost me $40.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
That's actually pretty cool.
You know,
cool
and
hat, good price too.
and when you look at it, the skull and wings are kind of like my logo in a way.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah,
See that, and again, that reflects once again that a lot of times when you have some type of logo or something like that, people are going to remember you very, very quickly. Saying that,
Oh
Mm-hmm.
and,
yes.
in addition, more, I think it's important to bring up, and everybody knows this all too well, that in addition, when it comes to the paranormal stuff, I do something else that's still kind of is involving the paranormal subject, but it's more to a much more of a horror story degree. But I also do audiobooks, which I've had to do some re-releases because there were a lot of repairs that needed to be done. But
wasn't I'm just talking to you about that?
yeah, you were, and so it's like
I'm trying to promote.
what I did for the first time, or now secondary time, which I'm still working on, is that I've been collecting. Like I've been having different paranormal podcast hosts, take a few minutes of their time to record an audiobook. So when I
Yeah.
think, and so for my case, it's not even really about me in this case, but when I make these audiobooks and people listen to them, they would be thinking, if they hear like one of the other show hosts, narrating. I mean, at first I was just doing it myself, but I decided to expand it to other podcast hosts. I just thought to myself, how cool would it be if I got other podcasts? Because again, this is not more on my part, but if people listen to these audiobooks, they be think, these guest stars, if you will, they'd be like, oh my God, that's the same guy that I watch that show all the time. And now he's doing a story. Like right here, I recognize that voice. So it's also, when you think about it, it's not always just about the very sight. It's even the sound of. I've learned it's also just the sound of your voice can be a remembrance immediately, or a familiarity to it.
Well, yeah, people
Yeah, I
hear
agree.
That would.
I'm sitting here and we're doing a podcast or something like that, and my daughter and them are out there, and they hear you and Tom doing the voices. They know right away that's Tom
Yeah.
because he
Yeah.
does those voices so well.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Tom especially.
The Rick and Morty stuff,
Yeah.
or it's like Jesus Christ.
Kirby.
I wish I could do
Let's,
that as
let's
well
go.
as he did.
Let's go with the bees.
Oh, boobies!
Oh
Boobies!
God. Oh
Who hit
God.
my ball? God damn it!
Just real quick, guys. We're probably
Yeah,
gonna. I mean, I think we're
and
probably gonna end in a next couple
Yeah.
minutes because we're
yeah,
almost at the 2 hour mark.
fine. That's
Yeah.
fine.
And a lot of us have been up all day working our butts off. So
Well, Braxton's still trying. You might want to give him some time.
Yeah, I'll give him. That's what I mean. I'll give him a couple more minutes, and like I said, if worse comes to worse, we could always try next time with him. He's
Uh-huh.
got plenty.
Nick, want a makeup bag?
What's that?
Want a makeup bag?
Oh, I didn't know you had bags now, Nikki.
Hey, she got merch.
I got
I don't know about a
bags.
makeup bag, but it can carry my
Hang
batteries.
on. I
Oh,
got
wait.
a pen.
Pens.
Hang on.
Wow.
When are we going to see you go on the
She's saying, buy my merch, support my team. Times are hard. We need equipment.
Yeah, I'm trying to promote it here, people.
Shit.
I'm gonna do now.
Yep.
That's
Is
amazing.
Hello.
just that's just
I'm
amazing.
back.
That's cool.
Yeah, but
You got
you know,
hoodies?
you probably
Anybody got
had
hoodies?
that made. You
Yeah,
know,
I mean, it's like when you
heck,
sell your own merchandise and stuff, that's even better because, like you said,
well,
Lurker, like it helps you, get make money out of to try to get eventual equipment
but
or whatever, and that's what I think is very beneficial.
in her
Yeah.
case, I think that was professionally made.
I think so too.
And the
Oh, yeah.
pens and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like that, you get that stuff made. But
Yeah.
Got more merch.
what
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
working
What
on,
is it?
It's a bumper sticker.
Are those
Oh.
are those stickers? That's awesome.
Now I want a
And
sticker.
hang on.
You're at, hey, Nikki,
Yes.
are those stickers like what would they have to be?
Waterproof.
Waterproof.
And she's got
Yes.
a beer holder.
Huh?
She's got a beer
Yes,
cup
I
holder.
get.
That's
And a
great.
controller.
So they'd be able to be put on a vehicle.
Yeah, she had to send them to me so I can put them on the truck.
Will do.
But
I'll give you a free beer
I got
holder.
one of those too. See,
Yep. Hey, you're on.
That's
Hon.
cool.
Represent.
it's a little dirty, but that's
I think we're
got
falling
one
behind
Oh,
here.
guys, real quick, Braxton said you can have the stream in a few minutes. Either we'll never figure this out, or it'll take a good time. Braxton, why don't here? I have an idea, just to help him out. I mean, even if he can't do it tonight, why don't at some point I'll set up. I'm not tonight because it's getting late already. But why don't I set up when you have a few minutes of your time within the next few days?
Oh, you talking about the thing?
I'll set up a studio, and we could try to practice. You could try to practice again, so that way, you know exactly what to do when you come on as a guest. So depending on your schedule, we'll do a test. I'll put a test studio together so you could try this again.
And we've got a phone cover.
Oh. So, Lurker, I'm just gonna. The only other thing I got to ask, I know we didn't really ask too many questions, but so aside from as far as investigations, do you have any other big paranormal projects coming up, or otherwise, or anything coming up that we should be seeing in the future?
I just got done with my AI research project that I use for investigations. I introduced a couple of them in the field right now. So one of them was an AI artificial spiritual vessel. That was one, and then another one was an AI spirit summoner, which I did 2 weeks ago. So I just finished on that, and I'm working on a different project now. So
cool.
That's to see how AI can be used for paranormal. So it's still up and down. It still needs work. I mean, it's not 100% solid. I'm not gonna here say, it's a lot of testing, a lot of everything.
Well, trial and error is always part of
twisting
part
and
of the
turning.
process.
Exactly. So that's thought I'd share it with y'all.
My wife and I don't get into making the equipment. I probably could have a long time ago because I'm like a computer genius. There's nothing about a computer I can't fix. All right. But my wife and I are got like the sublimation printer. I converted a printer to sublimation printer. We've got 2 laser engravers. I've got a button maker, and we've got a Cricut
and heat press.
And the heat press and all of this. So, when it comes to t-shirts, hats, this kind of thing here, we make all of that stuff in-house. I did send out for some of the decals that are on my truck, but a lot of that stuff was made by my wife.
That's cool. You have the equipment to do that too.
And I'm still making.
That's awesome.
I know.
It makes a lot of sense, though. So,
Nick saw what we could do. I mean, we're still trying to. It's still like trial and error with the laser engravers. We're trying to get them working just right, and it took me all week, and I was trying all week. But I did a thing for Nick where
Yeah.
he's got it hangs on his door. It was supposed to have the words on it that Nick is, and then it had a picture of him sleeping on there. Right? Like Tate, you know, Tate sent me quite a few pictures of Nick sleeping, so I could do this. But we spent so much time on that, we needed to stop for a while and get the truck finished, with the cricket and stuff, and get it all done. I mean, it took us. We had to take the push bar and the hubcaps off and wait for those to get painted. Because we had those painted purple.
And everybody's been commenting how it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely make sure to try again in the future, Braxton.
Yeah. Well, next Thursday we'll have the deck. You can come on the deck next Thursday, 5 p.m. Central Time, 2 hours.
And Lurker, at some point, I mean, not only would I like to have you back on this show, but I would also like to have you back on one of the others, because I do a couple other podcasts. I like to try to get you on a Supernatural Talk. That's actually the show before this one, funny enough. And we also do a couple shows also from the UK. So we're going to try to book you in so we can definitely talk more.
Of course, guys. Thank you for this opportunity that you have given me to come up here and share. And hopefully you can learn from me, and hopefully I can learn from y'all too as well. We're all learning together. Paranormal is a big, vast field of knowledge that needs to be understood, which it's stagnant right now, and it's our mission to go beyond that stagnant and try to discover things and learn new techniques and methods as well.
Love it. That's so great.
Absolutely. I saw your info. I also did send you a friend request, so that way we can stay in contact.
Thank you for that. I accepted your friend's request.
Oh, you did? Okay, great. Thanks for that.
And I hope we could be friends and share each other's ideas and give each other advice. Too as well.
Because as you'll probably notice, I have a lot of I have a lot of different connections. I mean, obviously, in addition to Nikki and Robert, from Australia, I actually have numerous paranormal connections from around the world, including even countries that you would never think twice you'd even find investigators, or even if it's just people who have the interest in it.
Yes.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. I mean, we have really gone worldwide with the amount of investigators and people coming in. It just continues. It's continuously growing, just showing how far we as a paranormal community has really grown over the last number of years.
Exactly. Despite the bad things that happen, there's a lot of love in the paranormal community, and you guys exhibit that for me tonight. Even though I'm a complete stranger to y'all, still I appreciate it.
You won't be for long.
Yeah, you'll get to know us very quickly. I mean, obviously, in addition to the paranormal stuff, we also have a great sense of humor, as you've seen at times.
I love it, guys. I love y'all's sense of humor and laid back demeanor. I love it.
People really love just making Nick laugh because his laugh is so
contagious.
His laugh
one more trigger.
What was that last part, Joe?
I said your laugh is so contagious.
Yes, it is. I can't help it.
You just got to say boobies and he loses it.
That's
Illinois.
I'll have to explain that when we do that. Originated from Supernatural.
Yeah,
I'll have to explain. The person that story will have to explain it better than I could.
Illinois.
Yeah, that too. Also,
Illinois.
Talk. I've been trying to correct these guys that the S is actually silent, but unfortunately, it's getting nowhere.
Oh, I know. I just like to annoy you.
Yeah, I know. You just do it just for the hell of it.
The first guy I ever ghost hunted with was from Illinois, actually. So, I used to annoy him by doing that while we were ghost hunting.
What you
Because I
did.
knew he was going to get mad and yell at me while we were ghost hunting. So.
Yeah.
Nikki and Robert, did you guys have any questions for Lurker just before we end things?
None.
I'm all good. Yeah. Luke and I will talk after. So.
Yeah, of course. And just real quick, just get to this last comment of Braxton. Thanks for letting me
No
on
worries,
after a year or two. Then my Samsung internet audio was tweaking. It was still nice. I'm surprised I didn't go blind from the side of my. I didn't say it was ugly.
I mean,
but yeah, I think it's best now that we end because we're already after the 2 hour mark. And Nikki, I know you said you got to get going.
Yeah.
So and
Yeah.
honestly, it's been a long day for me too, so I'm kind of tired. So, but
Nikki.
like I said, Lurker, we'll definitely have you back on this show, and we'll also get you on some of the other shows on this network.
Maybe
That's
you'd even
awesome,
like to
guys.
do Fear Fans
Appreciate
with
it.
us.
Much love, guys, for y'all.
Yeah. Until then, do you know Nikki and Robert? Do you guys know when you want to do another show of Paranormal PWA?
Providing
Do
it's
you want
not
to do it next
during-
week?
Yeah.
I mean, next week, whatever works for you guys.
Yeah, next week I'm free, I think. I don't really have next week.
I'm free.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I'm free.
Well, in that case, I'll end things then for you guys. So, as always, for those who tuned
Thanks
in,
for all
we
the love
always,
the other night, guys. I appreciate that too.
yeah, thanks for coming on, Chris and Joe.
No worries,
Thanks,
Nikki, I
guys.
thought maybe actually I was going to say maybe I'll let because I know you usually say something at the end, so I'll let you finish up. Just before we end.
Until we meet again, love, life, and respect. See you later. Bye, guys.
All right, you guys take care, and everyone
Bye,
who's been
Joe.
watching, thanks for hanging out with us. And you guys have a great
Carlos,
night.
right?
Take care.